ahead and take this off now. So one of the things I will tell you all is I get all my best ideas usually in the shower. And so one day I was in the shower and the steam was coming up and my pores were opening, and I was like, this is when you should have a face mask on, right? It's like while you're showering and, you know, doing all the things. And I thought, how often is it that you lay down to go to sleep and you think, oh, I'm going to put a face mask on and sleep with it on or whatever, because I'm a side sleeper, so that's just going to roll off. And I thought, there needs to be like a silicone mask that you can attach to your face and wear your face mask while you're doing chores. Well, I think somebody in China invented it, because I found it available for sale, and all you do is wrap this doodad around your actual mask and it keeps it on your face. So I've only had this mask on for like probably an hour, but this is one that you're definitely supposed to sleep in. So I will start y'all off. You have a problem following a routine, anything like that for brightening and tightening? Yes. So the ZO Bright Alive Skin Brightener is amazing. And I get people really like to be like a one-shot deal and be done. It's never going to work. It's kind of like saying, oh, you can go to the car repair place and just get your spark plug changed. Well, you got to do the oil and you got to do the tires. You have to do all of that to keep it working. So I know, it's hard. It's hard. So, but first I want to just tell you all, screenshot this, the BioSense Bio Collagen Real Deep Mask. These are my favorite masks, okay? These are the ones I highly recommend that you sleep in. You put this on, you put this on over top, as long as you don't have, Mom, I'm sorry, I know you probably can't with your claustrophobia, but if you do that and you wake up, it is a second job, but you only have one face. Yes, and here's the other thing that I will tell you all about acne and sensitive skin. I suffered from deep cystic acne for, I mean, my mom can tell you, for years, like the kind that would just bubble up and always, like, I couldn't even sleep on my face. It was so painful. And I was a victim of that misconception of thinking my face was too oily. And because I was constantly depriving my skin of oils, it was overproducing and just sebum central. I mean, it was a nightmare. But yes, these are safe and very comfortable. I did finally do a round of Accutane at about 34 years old, and it changed my life, quite honestly. So, yes, of course. And these come in the pack of 4. And I don't want to say any place to buy anything, because I don't want to get in trouble. But I am going to do my best to have products available for you all to shop in the shop as soon as I get them. So that, and then don't forget, only because these are really going to work best when you can wear them for an extended period of time, like 4 to 6 hours, because your skin absorbs all of the moisture that is actually in this mask. So before you go to an event, before you have, you know, a photo shoot, whatever, these are the kind of masks that you want to have on the day before you get your makeup done, and you'll feel like you just had a hydrofacial. And hydrofacials these days, I mean, they're expensive. You can pay, after you tip your service person, you can pay $250, $350 for a hydrofacial, a good one. So this is my dupe for that, so that you can save money in the hydrofacial plane, okay? So I'm gonna peel this off, and you all will see my skin and my scars. And I'll just see all of these deep pockets. Really bad. And when I turned 40, I started to get really bad, you're so sweet, pigmentation. So I have recently, I can't give you my full feedback yet, but I did sign up for that Muesli brand. I don't know if any of you all have seen that Muesli situation where you can get, it's basically like a dermatologist will look at pictures of your skin and then give you a prescription. So I've been using a little bit of their lightening cream. I think I'm just gonna go full honky and do CO2 laser. Yeah, I've been using it about 2 months too, and look, I'm an instant gratification girl, and who can blame me, but it's not working as fast as I would like. So we did find there's a really great doctor in Houston that does CO2, and Kristi had CO2 when she was in her early 30s. And honestly, like, she has the skin she has today because she did that when she was in her 30s. So, I mean, she might shoot me, but she is 54, and I think she has amazing skin. And one of the other things, maybe I should wait until she's out here, but she has a crazy face story. You know, again, going back to the whole community of whatnot, it's amazing how few, like, there's no trolls, there's really not a lot of anybody that comes saying hateful things, but of all the hateful things that she's ever had on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, people give her a lot of bad energy about, like, you know, knock it off with the plastic surgery. She hasn't. I mean, she has had a couple things, and she'll tell you what they are, but there's a story about her face that I'll let her kind of engage with when she comes out here. On the other hand, Hermes, hold on, Hermes wants to say hi. So, you can't do skincare tonight, no. This is Hermes. Okay, so, I know, she's adorable. My dogs are my everything. My little Louie, my Chihuahua, love him. You know, you have a heart dog sometimes, like, just, it's the one. He passed, like, about 2 years ago, and so it's hard, but she's not, you know, obviously not the replacement, but she's my next heart dog. We've got 4, but they're fun. Okay, so let's talk about cleansing. Thank you. So a lot of people are always curious about, hello, Sebesta girl. Don't worry, you haven't missed much. We'll fill you in. I started out the show with this full-on Hannibal Lecter sheet mask situation. So this is my first recommendation for anybody that misses it, is the Biodense Biocollagen Real Deep Mask. You're gonna put one of those bad boys on, sleep in it, and then layer over top with one of these masks that's like a silicone sheet mask holder, so that you can toss and turn, sleep on your side, and don't have to worry about that falling off. Okay, the next very important thing that most people don't ever really think about when it comes to skincare is why double cleansing is so important. So a lot of the products that we wear have so many oils and just like pore clogging ingredients in them. And it's one thing, you're welcome, it's one thing to wash your face, but a lot of times, kind of like think about like your paintbrushes or even your makeup brushes. Think about the kinds of cleansers that are available to wash your makeup brushes. There's ones that are gonna strip the makeup, but then there's ones that are actually gonna disinfect the brush at the same time. That goes with your face as well. So let's say I've got a layer of heavy duty makeup on and I just take my face wash, and the fact of the matter is that's probably just going to remove some of the makeup. I feel like a lot of people have really gotten away from toners. Toners are great, but I think a lot of times you still need to double cleanse. So my tried and true first point of cleansing is going to be the Elemis Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm. Okay, I think this retails for right around $61, $64. In the box comes with its own little washcloth. Elemis is a great brand. I don't feel like it gets enough attention, and it's got a very like herbaceous medicinal smell to it, but it's basically like face grease, okay? And so this is gonna do a great job of breaking up any product that you have on your skin, whether it's sunscreen, foundation, no matter what's on your face, this is going to just break up and help remove all of that product, okay? So this, always my first go-to. After every show, I rub a layer of that on, I look like an oil slick, let it sit for about 2 minutes, let it kind of break everything apart, and then wipe that off. Then after that, and I don't have it right now because Erin sent it and it didn't arrive yet, is I either do Cetaphil, just the regular Cetaphil for regular normal skin. Cetaphil, when I was doing Accutane, Cetaphil was my go-to, and it has remained my favorite face wash. That, or if you want to use the ZO gentle cleansing. What?
I'm trying to find a plug.
Trying to find a plug? The Zeo Gentle Cleanser is also a really great cleanser. And as far as cleansing goes, Kristi, say hi.
Hi.
So, who knows about makeup erasers? Lewis says hi. Don't forget your mic.
I know.
So, that was the other thing I was telling you girls. I am mic'd because we are, in case you don't have time to hang out the whole night or whatever, I am also filming this for our podcast to post. It might not all of it get uploaded because it might be a while, but I'll have him put in the highlights so that you can go back and watch this later. I know. I'm trying. It just depends. If you don't have anything on, no, I'm not going to recommend double cleansing. But if you have, some heavy duty sunscreen on, yeah. Because all of those things just really, you think about how much your pores absorb, like the elevation that in cancer, just because of radioactive material and all the things that are floating around in the air, like we absorb so much through our skin. And especially our face, and your face regenerates more at night when you sleep. And I'm a big proponent of exfoliation. So I exfoliate my skin every single day. I mentioned this, that Kristi Brinkley did an interview once, and somebody asked her, what's your key to youthful looking skin? And she said, she goes, I exfoliate literally every day. So, hello, welcome to the party.
How many do we have on?
11. And so just exfoliating and taking that top layer off, you're not going to hurt your skin. What you're going to do for your skin is force that new layer to come to the surface every day. Just force it to come to the surface every day. So, before we kind of launch into this, I will give you completely full disclosure on everything that I've had done, okay? Because I think that's important. Some people are like, oh yeah, well, you've had all of these procedures. And now that Kristi's out here and I can tell about her personal situation, I have had my lips filled. I've had them filled probably like 6 to 8 times over the last 15 years. I love it. I had no top lip at all. I will always, I think some people throw shade for that. Kristi, on the other hand, has never had her lips filled. Those are all natural.
But if you look, they're not even, and they're, I don't know, I have scar tissue. I had an accident as a kid, and then I'd shoot on it. And anyway, it is what it is.
Kristi's crazy face story is when in 2009, right?
Yes. Well, actually, 2003 is when I had the ENT thing, and then 2009 when I had the surgery.
Yeah. Okay. So 2003, Kristi had a sinus procedure where they went in and what she calls roto-rooted her nose, her nostrils.
I'm sure there's a more professional name for it.
And basically took out all the nasal polyps she had. And in doing so, that was supposed to help her sinuses, which she still struggles with today. She actually developed a pretty severe infection. Well, that infection settled into the bone of her face and evolved for about 6 years until she realized that the staph had basically eaten away at the entire side of her face.
The bone.
Yeah. So she went to the doctor. There was only 2 surgeons in the entire country that could basically treat what she was going through. There was one in LA and there was one in New York. And
actually, I went to the one in New York. He referred the Japanese man in Chicago.
Oh, but then you ended up going to Southern California.
Yes.
So she went to see him, and he goes, this is going to take a lot. Basically, it's going to take, we're going to have to harvest a rib from you for your cheekbone. We're going to have to harvest 20% of your scalp
and both of my ears.
Behind both of your ears, the cartilage. He rubbed on her ear when he was doing the consultation, and she was like, "So you have some sort of fetish?" And he's like, "No, I have to basically take you into the chop shop." And he had some assistant in the back, and basically during the surgery, he basically told her how to mix up the components, kind of like a bartender, like, what do I need to put in this face? So she goes.
But it's only on one side.
Sinclair, this is the craziest story. Okay, I know I'm kind of going off track, but she had to go through 9 rounds of IVF in order to have Sinclair. Sinclair was only a year old when she went to Southern California for this surgery. So she's there by herself going under and basically doesn't know if she's going to be under for 9, 13 hours, whatever. It ends up being a 13-hour surgery, and he did harvest her rib, behind her ears, part of her scalp, and basically rebuilt that entire side of her face. And
to match the other side.
has over 2,000 stitches inside her mouth, and that's also why part of her lips are lumpy and swollen, because she has all that scar tissue built up in there. Here's what's crazy. She stays in Southern California. She recovers. She flies back home to Texas, and
3 weeks.
3 weeks later, she was out in the pool with Sinclair, goes to sleep, wakes up the next day, walks into the bathroom, and basically
Looks like Elephant
looks
Man.
like Elephant Man. The infection had come back again. So calls the doctor. She obviously can't get on a plane and fly back to California. I know, right? So he sends her to Children's Hospital in Houston, and she's like, what am I going to tell him? I'm the world's biggest dwarf.
Yeah.
And basically, they say, okay, we're going to have to go in and take all of that out. It's been compromised. And she goes, what's going to hold my face up? And they said, you're going to have to wear a mask. And she
This
goes,
is long before the COVID mask.
she goes, I refuse to be Michael Jackson. Absolutely not. And she said, what's behind door number 2? And he said, the only other option we have is we can hit you with a PICC line for 9 hours a day for 9 months. So she lived on a PICC line and had around-the-clock care basically coming to her house, giving her all the intravenous antibiotics that she would need to fight that infection. Because, I mean, it could have gone to her brain, so many things. But that's Kristi's very awful, tragic, but came out on the good side face story. So it's amazing that she's exquisitely as beautiful as she is, considering everything that she's been through. But just wanted to give you all a little story time. So aside from that, you had CO2 when you were...
Yes, 2004, I had CO2. I would get those hard sebaceous cysts. They don't ever come to the top, but they feel kind of knotty, and they're super painful.
Luba says she's going to give you the nickname Teflon Kristi.
Yes, and so I kept getting them like maybe 2 or 3 times a year on my forehead. And you just go to touch it and you're like, can't you see that? And people would be like, no, not really. And it would feel just like something was deep in there. So I went to the dermatologist. Dermatologist sent me to another doctor and said the only way you can go in there and try to break it up, first of all, you're never going to bring it to the surface. And antibiotics are only going to suppress it, but it's going to keep coming back. And so I had never had acne, but they said it's just so far deep in the dermis, you can't get to it. But if we go in there and cut it to try to cut it out, and we cut it in pieces and it breaks off, you're really screwed, because now it's spreading. So I had CO2 on my face, and I was like, I don't know, 31 years old. And I've never gotten in the sun, never smoked, anything like that. And I remember I have a picture somewhere holding up a Coke can, and my face looked like that. And it was an 8-week recovery. And I just remember crying, thinking, what have I done? Oh my God, this is horrible. I've ruined my face. I'm going to be this. It looks like I'd gone through a fire. And I'm telling you, that stuff's magic. The bump, I mean, those cysts never came back, but it takes it down to a baby's ass. Now, you really can't go in the sun after that. Right. They tell you.
Kristi's lived in the dark ever since.
Yes, I don't get in the sun. But I have to tell you, that's the one thing I did that was just mind-blowing was that CO2. And it gives you all brand new everything. But it got down. They put you under an IV, and I even spent the night in the hospital. It was that severe. And people kept thinking you're crazy. And trust me, the first 3 or 4 weeks, I did think I was crazy, because I was thinking the scarring, there wasn't any after it was all over.
So many people always ask, like, what's the one thing you recommend? And, there's a lot of that Morpheus that they're talking about right now. And Morpheus, what we've come to learn, is great for certain parts of the body where you want skin tightening, but you have to be very careful. And I almost would say don't use it in your face, because Morpheus is going to kill fat underneath the surface, and that's one of the things that makes women look youthful, is that baby fat in the face. So yes, it might do things for the skin that are great, but you don't want to do anything that's going to dissolve natural fat, especially in your face, your cheekbones, anywhere, because people then go and get filler and try to do all that to put it back. So on the subject of filler, one of the things that I want to tell you all about is when I had, because I think there's not enough people who talk about this because I was certainly misinformed. When I had my acne so bad, I basically had a hole in, and I still have a little bit of a divot there, but I started going in and putting filler in this area so I could help, you know, push that area out. Well, when I worked at the jewelry store, I worked next door to a plastic surgeon's office. And I walked in one day and, you know, was going in to get the filler done. And he looked at me and, oh, I was also going for, you know, a Mary-Kate and Ashley consultation. And he said, let me be really clear with you. He said, stop doing any filler at all. At all. Don't do it. He said, all you're doing is constantly stretching those pockets to need more and more. And eventually you're going to just look like, you know, you swallowed, you're allergic to shellfish. He said, start doing things that contribute to your own natural collagen building. So Sculptra, huge recommender for Sculptra. I love Sculptra. It's not an instant gratification thing. You're gonna get it done. You're gonna be puffy for a couple days, but then after the fact, you're gonna really start seeing some results from Sculptra 3 to 4 months later, and you're just gonna be like, oh, I must have had like a really great night's sleep last night, or I love Sculptra, especially when you talk about like the temples, anywhere where you start to show age, the temples are actually a big one, and you think, well, you know, that doesn't do anything for my cheekbones, but how it keeps your face held back and everything sort of pinned where it needs to be. Sculptra along the jawline helps you stay taut here to prevent creases and wrinkles in this area. Sculptra is wonderful, okay? And I know, I love it too. Sculptra.
What's that one that gives you the hydration?
So another one that we just found that we absolutely love is called Skin Vive. Skin Vive, and we have a great girl, her name is Jamie, and she has, her facility is called Skin Deep in Houston. Neck, yes, Sculptra instead of filler. Don't do filler. The only place I recommend filler is in the lips. That's it. The neck, honestly, the neck you can do a few things. You can do PDO threads. Now, Kristi doesn't like PDO threads. I like PDO threads. PDO threads are basically the same material that they use dissolvable sutures after a surgery. PDO threads are instantaneous results. So if you go to a practitioner that you trust, basically they just put these little threads. It looks terrifying. I think it's hardly painful at all. I liken it, like Botox to me is not painful at all. Then PDO threads, then Sculptra, and then there's definitely...
I just don't want anything foreign in my body. I mean...
I think that they dissolve. She's watched a couple tutorials on YouTube where they're like, they don't dissolve, they stay in there forever. And I'm like, I don't know if I buy that hype. But PDO threads is a great solution for the bands in the neck if you don't want to go to that next step and do a neck lift. But aside from that, that's about all you're going to get as far as fixing the neck situation, because that skin, there's really nothing to do. If anybody tries to sell you a cream and says this is going to help, they're lying to you, I believe. Another really great thing for skin tightening, which you can do this for the neck, I think it might be a little bit of a painful recovery, is a plasma pen. So if you're not familiar with a plasma pen, I don't think that there's quite a lot of people who practice plasma pen that are proficient and well trained in plasma pen, but it's basically, and it is painful, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a little controlled burn?
Yeah, it's basically a tiny pinpoint controlled burn. And it's a pen.
It's like, it's as big as a pencil tip.
So I started noticing about 2.5 years ago that, you know, my eyelids were just getting a little extra, you know, I don't, if it was the weather, if it was allergies, but my eyelid just felt heavy. So I didn't want to go in and have an eyelid lift, because a lot of times people have a lot of actually really uncomfortable recovery from eyelid lifts, because either the doctor cuts too much skin out, and Kristi actually has some friends, and then you can't close all the way. And for some people, you can develop a really unsightly scar. Plasma pen, when you can actually execute it on the under and upper eye, I've had it done twice. It's these just tiny, tiny, tiny dots. And when you do that, it burns the skin, it kind of cinches it in tight, and then you recover, and it all sloughs off over the next 7 to 10 days. And the recovery's actually been quite miraculous. I like it a lot. I feel like if I had it done 1/3 time, just that tiny little bit of inner eyelid skin that's
Kind of contracts
baggy.
everything up.
Yeah, I think, and for what it costs, honestly, that's the other thing is like, if you look at what an eyelid lift costs, a lot of times you're going to spend $8,000 on that versus plasma pen where you might spend $600. Plasma pen. And if you go on my personal Insta, I do think that I posted some videos about my experience and my recovery. You can't go anywhere. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I just wish people talked more about that. And here's another thing I want to tell you all about because I feel like a lot of people haven't done. What is it called? There's this new procedure. It's not new in Europe, but it's not approved officially here in the United States. But there's basically this fiber optic cable. They sell it by the case. Right, I wish. There's a fiber optic kind of cable laser light where you can, versus having like a tummy tuck or anything like that, if you've got loose skin, it's basically this light laser that they're able to thread underneath the skin and basically cinch everything up from the underneath. They practice it like crazy in Europe, in Turkey, probably every country but ours. Yes, JK babe, I want you to go see Jamie at Skin Deep on Robin Hood in Houston down by Rice. And I will text you all of that. But she, hands down to me, I've seen probably 15 practitioners in the last 20 years since I've been doing this. She's so knowledgeable. She's so invested. She has literally spent an entire day with just us in the office educating us. She's one of the people that's so invested in the knowledge that it takes to run her business.
She's been doing this
professionally.
25 years.
And she also went through a really bad, Kristi was exposed to some toxic mold about 4 years ago. Jamie also experienced that too. She's just, every time I'm in her office, I learn something. And love, love, love her. I'll never see anybody else for all of my face stuff. She's wonderful. She doesn't go overboard. She'll tell you what you need to get where you want to achieve what you want. And she's kind of one of the people that will educate you on taking a risk about maybe trying some things because she's knowledgeable about everything that's happening across the globe, and she knows how far behind the United States is as far as skincare goes. She's wonderful. I know, we all need to have like a women's retreat in Houston, and we can book Jamie for a weekend and just have her come to the hotel and have everybody get beautified. I'm telling you, it would be a blast.
What's the others? PPC?
Okay, so the other parts are, if you haven't had PRP and PRF, do you all know what PRP and PRF? Platelet-rich plasma.
I haven't had that, but I want that.
Right, and platelet-rich fibrin. So platelet-rich plasma is basically liquid gold, and in order to get liquid gold, when you go into an office that offers PRP, they basically draw your blood, they put it into a centrifuge, they spin it, and when they spin it, the plasma separates from the blood and leaves this little top vial, looks like churned butter, of gold liquid that's from your body. And then they can take that and they can mix it with things. They can mix it with stem cells. They can mix it with the skin weave, all kinds of things. And basically, Jamie is a master cocktail whiz. Like, she'll tell you all the things, all of her favorite concoctions. And I always say to her, treat me like you treat your mother. Like, if I'm coming in here and you know that as a client, maybe you might do some things for your mother, do that for me, okay? And she does. She's amazing. So PRP is that. Well, then PRF is like the step up from PRP. So it's like basically there's this little patch of material in the vial, and the PRF is actually a little bit stronger than the PRP. And so all of these things I have seen her for. Kristi, unfortunately, has tiny veins, so every time she's gone in to try and get PRP or PRF, they can't get a stick and draw her blood. So that's the only reason she hasn't had it done. But you're asking for this for your 60th birthday. Look, I mean, I have to tell you, just as a little side note, we did a call last night with Whatnot because they had like a new sellers call, like an invitational thing.
Like an onboarding.
Look, okay, I have so much to tell you guys. So is this a one-time only procedure? No. I would say I like to get PRP or PRF. I'm kind of past PRP. I get PRF probably once every 4 to 6 months.
What does one do versus the other?
PRP is like basically entry level, and PRF is like the next step up. So it's going to have a little bit more of a longevity. But in the seller call last night, we were like, I don't want to say like head class, but ahead of the class, but listening to everybody else's stories, like we've done so well in just 11 shows that we're like thinking about all the different ways to have this community and being able to offer more of these one-on-ones. And just, you know, I love the fact that this feels like a community building platform, and it's not about selling, it's about like enriching people's lives. And I've wanted to do this sort of thing for years, because I am a makeup artist and because I like educating people, but it's hard to figure out how do you develop a platform where people feel like they're part of something that's engaging. Because on YouTube, when you just put it out there, there's not lifetime engagement. So the other thing I said to Kristi today, I said, you know, Kristi, so because she just got divorced in November, her 350-acre ranch is for sale. And on her ranch, she has a main house and 5 cabins and then another house. And I said, if we can figure out how to basically buy out her ex-husband, I said, I think we should turn it into a whatnot retreat and be able to offer, like, do luxury stays, like wellness stays for women that become part of our whatnot audience to come stay. We have Jamie come do all of the things of beauty. But I think it would be amazing.
I bet Mojo's wife would come help us.
I bet all of the ladies would come help us. See, they're all say yes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Sebesta girl.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, like there's not enough authenticity of connection, I think, among people anymore. And just watching how a lot of the other people on this platform do what they do, I feel like, I'm not going to dog anybody, but there's so much more value in it if you connect with who you're talking to. And because I want this to be a long-term happy place and like a go-to family, doing as many things as we can to figure out ways to make this feel like that community. So that's what we're here for. So those are that's what I've had done. So aside from that, I haven't had a facelift. I haven't had anything else. I get Botox because I do get tons of wrinkles on my forehead, but yeah. We'll come to Texas. We'll take care of you. Okay, we'll figure out, we're coming up with some good plans. So, okay, who is sitting ready to play with makeup? Does anybody have their makeup in front of them ready? Yeah, tomorrow, right? There's so much I want to do, so much. Okay, you ready? Okay, now that you have fresh face and it is clean and you've double cleansed, I always like to start first with serums, okay? Because serums are going to be the lightest weight. They're going to sink into your face and just give you as much hydration as possible. One of my favorite serums is the SkinCeuticals P-Tox, and it's a corrective serum. This is just like a little sample size. I'm going to try and hold it up so you guys can get a good picture. This is one of their newer products, and it's called a wrinkle modulating peptide serum that improves the look of contraction lines, texture, and radiance.
You can read all that from there.
Yes, I can.
I'm so jealous.
So Luba, to your point, I feel like this is really a great product that is going to give you the most bang for your buck. And then, oh, there's also another one that I didn't bring out. I have to go get. But I like to put this on underneath my makeup. It soaks right in. And for anybody who's ever told you not to use your hands, as long as they're clean, but be delicate, okay? Use your ring fingers here for anything under your eye. Always go up, never drag down, and pat. But the heat from your hands is really gonna help your products sort of soak into your skin, okay? And if one drop is nice, two's even better. But it feels a little bit sticky, but it soaks right in almost immediately. Does anybody need to see that bottle again? Then, here's a really great Scott Barnes makeup trick. Aquaphor. Okay, who feels like when your under eye gets dry and tired, you get crepey and wrinkly under the eyes. This is gonna change the game for you in the under eye area.
And you think it's like hard Vaseline that it's gonna slide around. It's not going to.
So basically what I do is I just take the top off and then I just put a little bit on the back of my nail and then I wipe it on my hand there.
I put it straight on from the stick.
Kristi puts it straight on the stick. I'm a little bit more sanitary because I do makeup. So
but I carry my own tube with me all the time.
she does. She uses it on the under eyes, on the lips. So really great trick. And this is not going to slide. It's not going to. It basically acts as a wrinkle preventer, a primer, and a grip for concealer all in one. And it's pretty amazing. And I just tap that on lightly underneath the eye. You don't have that in Canada? Well, maybe on your next package, I'll send you some. It's on the way. Don't you worry.
How can they not have Aquaphor in Canada?
It's Canada, I don't know. So, just regular, yep, the immediate relief in the stick. Hold on. That's all. But there's a video. Scott Barnes did this video, actually one of Kristi's friends, Kim Harmon Gatlin. She wrote
yeah, she was married to the Gatlin brother.
Rudy Gatlin. But she wrote the book, Good Christian Bitches.
And they turned it into a TV show.
This little one. So this comes in a bigger bottle, but I like to travel with it, and sometimes I get worried about it breaking, or honestly, every time you open, kind of like your mascara, every time you open it and you let air inside, you're exposing it to like dry out, whatever. So I actually prefer the tiny bottles. That way I can throw into my handbag, whatever. So I just buy these little, they're kind of the sample boxes. And so it's called the...
Look, I think people may say there is a difference between medical grade and off the shelf.
Yes. Another product that I love by IS Clinical is the Active Peel System. So this goes back to that whole conversation about exfoliating your skin every day. You can do this every single night before bed, before you put on your products. And it's the two-step. So you basically take this pad out and swish, swish, swish it all over your entire face and neck. Leave it on for about 3 minutes. Do not rinse. And then go in and put it on number 2. And it's basically a 2-part polishing system for your face. So this is going to be a little bit of a mix between the chemical and manual exfoliator that we talked about. So if you do this, you don't need to exfoliate with anything else. And look.
And also, I've been using Retin A since I was 19 or 20.
Right. She used, what, 1%?
Yeah, I wouldn't start at that. But.
Yeah, and here's the other thing about exfoliating. If you've not been an exfoliator, don't jump in hardcore like I'm telling you and start exfoliating every day. Break your skin in gently and start out by once every 4 to 6 days. And then once you start to notice kind of that cellular turnover, and don't just go to here. Go to your neck. Go to your décolleté. Do this whole place, okay? No, I like them both. And the ZO, they have pads and they also have the exfoliating crystals. These are the crystals that I was talking about.
And it's super fine.
So I used this in the shower tonight before I came out here. And so to use this right before you put on one of those face masks, crazy. Like, you're gonna wake up and be like,
it's a baby's ass.
New skin, who dis? Like, crazy. Puffy eyes. Which part? This part or the underneath part? There's a few caffeine serums that seem to work really well. Here's my honest truth. It's not something that I have personally struggled with, so I haven't had to conquer. But I will ask 2 of my tried and true, and I will get back to you. That might be our ZO package now. Dark circles are also, it's so tricky. You know, there's a lot of people that are going to tell you what they think. Honestly, I think for dark circles, one of your best resources is going to be to get a little under eye filler. Yes, this is the ZO. This is Zeo
Give
Skin
back.
Health, and it looks like hell
You
because it's
little
been in the shower.
shit.
But these are the exfoliating polish. Now this is the back bar size. I don't think that they sell this size like regularly on their website. I don't think. I think it's a little bit smaller. But they have this, and then they also have exfoliating pads. I use both, tried and true. I do use this IS Clinical
Jeez.
2-part system.
You'd
but I
think they were
also
going to
have,
war.
Excuse me, the Zeo exfoliating pads.
Liz, a good house dog, though.
Yeah, little bitty.
Sorry about that.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
Thank you, babe.
Delivering all the Zeo products. Is that it?
Well, I mean, it's something, but I don't know what it is.
You're welcome. And, okay. Do y'all want me to go into like some different sort of creams and other things that they're good for from Zeo? I have a lot. I don't have all the products, but I have a lot of
basically
them. I
do.
just don't want to overwhelm everybody. Yeah, I don't recommend Botoxing the under eye.
Do you want me to open it?
No, it's okay. So the Zeo products did come. I will do my best to get them uploaded in the store tonight and tomorrow. That way you all can go in and just purchase at your leisure. I'm not going to worry about doing it right now. One of the other products by Zeo that I highly recommend is the Bright Alive Skin Brightener. And I feel like that's one of the things, let me hold it up for a little bit longer. One of the things that we don't really pay attention to or notice is just how much bright skin changes the way we look as far as aging goes. So glutathione, I'm gonna give you a little, glutathione, the supplement, is a great supplement to take that also internally helps your skin brighten. I think ginkgo biloba is also a really great skin brightener. But this Brighten Alive by Zeo is just a great topical that's just going to help put a little bit of that bounce back in your skin, as well as some really great vitamin C serum. Now, I don't have a specific vitamin C serum that I recommend, only because I have gotten spoiled with this one we found by a lady out of Vegas, and she ships it to me. And I don't know that I don't know that she makes enough to do that, but I keep it in the refrigerator. But vitamin C serum is amazing. You might notice after you put like a really great vitamin C serum on your face, time and time again, that your palms will get orange or kind of a rusted brown. But what it does for the skin when it brightens your face is beautiful. Now this also, if you don't have a prescription for Retin A, but you need kind of like that Retin A exfoliation. Is everybody here familiar with Retin A? Has everybody used Retin A? For anybody that hasn't, it is probably going to be
The biggest transformational game
one of the
changer.
biggest transformational products that you can use for your skin as far as helping with lines and wrinkles. Now, if you can get it prescribed to you by a dermatologist and get, like the actual from the pharmacy, I think it usually runs about, if you have insurance, maybe $100 a tube. It will last you 3 months. But that's vitamin A in the tube, and it's just going to basically slough off that layer of skin, and it's more advanced than anything you're going to buy over the counter. Now, this Wrinkle and Texture Repair by Zeo is going to be the next best case purchase for you if you don't want to go that route. So this has a 0.5%. Yes, that's true. Joni's right. You can get a prescription from Muesli, which is a website that you take pictures of your face and you send it in, and then you don't have to make an appointment to go see a plastic surgeon or dermatologist. But if you don't want to go that route and you want to kind of like ease in, this is a really great product to do that with, especially if you have baby skin that's not used to a lot of...
And you always want to gradually go into it. I mean, because I have people say, no, I can't use Retin A because my skin, it reacts too much. Just the smallest amount, and maybe you use it in the beginning twice a week, and then you work up to 3 times a week.
Right.
And you want to ease into it always.
Now, here's another product by Zeo. Yeah, exactly. No waxing. If you use Retin A, don't get your lip waxed, don't get your eyebrows waxed, don't Be very, very gentle with your skin, especially just using it. No sun, definitely. My favorite recommendation for sunscreen is, I felt like when I was really struggling with my acne at the most, when I put sunscreen on, my acne would just freak out. And it's because actually a lot of times people are allergic to the minerals in sunscreen, and they're not always the best for you. Elta MD UV Clear is a non-acne prone. Oh my goodness, look at this. You give us all of the tips. You call me out if I'm saying something that you don't think is right, because I've only been my esthetician days were 20 years ago. I've only been a consumer. This is my favorite sunblock. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, like I would put it, I put it on and feel like my skin would look better the next day. Everything else, you know, you buy that, what is it, Tropicana or something at Target, and I would wake up the next day and be pizza face. Sorry, hang on, let me. Okay. Let's see, what else? Oh, Zeo Growth Factor Serum. This stuff is like jelly. I can't even tell you what it is that's so amazing about it, but it's kind of like this. And it has the softest.
Yeah, it's almost like a cushion.
Yeah, it has this cushion feel. But you know, growth factor serums, now I don't necessarily recommend putting this product on underneath your makeup like I'm doing right now. This is definitely more of a nighttime, and the price point.
It has a tendency to slide.
Yeah, it has a tendency to slide, and it is like liquid collagen. The price point on it is pretty heavy, so you want to use all of your reparative, regenerative kind of products like that at night while you're sleeping. And I'm a layer queen. Like I sometimes layer 4 or 5 products on at a time. Not ashamed to say. So
this is my favorite though.
Yes, I brought this out because you want to talk about that?
Yes, so.
Come up here.
What is this? Dr. Jart. Is everybody familiar with Dr. Jart? And the consistency is really thin. What's the SPF on that?
35.
Okay, so I had a friend of mine, Dr. Patty Ferris, is a dermatologist from New Orleans, and she is also the dermatologist for Vogue. And she told me, she goes, after 30, you don't need anything stronger because you'll be reapplying it. So I grew up in South Texas, literally, I guess you call it the Gulf of America now. Gulf of Mexico was my front door. And my mother, do y'all remember, I'm probably dating myself, but Bullfrog? And like the surfers would use it, and it only came in Colgate white, bright chartreuse green, and then like a bright shocking pink. And my mother would be like, if you're going to go out, that's what you have to wear.
But you only put that on this side of your face so far, right?
Yeah.
But I think get close and show them the difference.
See how thin, it comes out green, but don't be, it's like a light tinted green.
But it's such a great red cancellator.
Yeah. I have a little, what they call that,
hyperpigmentation.
Yeah. But I mean, kids, I'm 54 years old. I'm probably too old to be doing this. But I just telling you, I don't have any wrinkles. And I just think sun, as much as what I learned today, like 92% of the world is vitamin D deficient. How are you supposed to get vitamin D if you don't take it? It's in the sun. But I'm not going to get in the sun for anybody. I'm sorry.
So if y'all didn't see that up close, you can get Dr. Jart products at like Sephora,
Ulta.
But this is their reparative tiger grass camo drops.
Oh, and so like if you do have some hyperpigmentation or whatever it's called, it will kind of even that out over time.
And so that comes either in this liquidy formula, or you can also get it in
a little paste.
In a paste, like a heavier cream. But you like this better.
Mm-hmm. It just comes off thinner.
So, okay. Now that the face has moisture, now if a good moisturizer is also going to be, there's 2. I don't have any, I'm out at the moment, but Zeo has one, and it's called I think it's the AOX serum. and it has a really pretty, just a light, like almost like pearlescent glow to it. I love that one as a daily moisturizer, and there's tons of skincare benefits that I can't rattle off to you here, but just hop on that ZO site and check out, you know, all the benefits. They have a great description on all their products. But another one is just the Daily Power Defense. It's gonna just be a really great all-day moisturizer. Couple pumps, just warm it up. Now, has anybody got their makeup ready in front of them that they're gonna kind of practice some of this stuff while we go through makeup? Or do you need a minute to go get your stuff? Or are you just gonna watch and think about doing it later? Because I'll wait if anybody needs to go get their products. I wonder, you should be able, I wonder if because it's private, if you'll be able to see this later. Here's the tube should have, oh, supplements? Oh, girl. Kristi, how many supplements do you take a day?
I bet you 20.
I could talk a
Maybe
lot
2
about
dozen.
supplements because,
I'm gonna start telling people I'm 74 years old.
oh, we should probably save supplements for another show, or we'll be here for hours. How about we do that? We'll do
What's
a whole,
the main though? The main gluten.
like I'm actually thinking about calling her and scheduling her for this weekend, but I'm a huge proponent of getting NAD infusions. If you don't know do you all know what NAD infusions are? I know NAD's been all over the
TikTok, but not that crap in a gummy form.
Do you know what, tell me if you all know what NAD is.
NAD. Some
NAD
people call it
plus.
NAD or.
No. So NAD is basically a compound that your body has, and when we all reach, you know, that golden age of probably 40, we start making less and less. So when you realize that you're tired, it's harder to get out of bed in the morning. When you feel like, oh gosh, I have aches and pains that I haven't had before, or you have brain fog, or you can't sleep well at night. Literally every host of issue you start developing in life when you just arrived at that place where you're like, oh, like I don't have social anxiety anymore, or I don't care what people think of me. When you can start showing up in a room as yourself, but you're like, dang, it's harder to do all this because I just don't feel the best. It's because your NAD supplements have tanked, okay? So
Kind of like your hormone pellets.
yeah, kind of like hormones, which I am also a proponent of. But if you want to just jumpstart your entire wellness, NAD plus, you can get a lot of times those IV specialists who travel can come to your home and give you, I was going to use that later.
Oh shit, sorry.
They can give you an NAD infusion. Now, it's not inexpensive. However, there are also companies
It makes you
similarly
feel lethargic.
to Muesli. You just need to come hang out with us in College Station, and I'll call the girl to come over to the house, and you can hang out with us, and we'll do girl talk, and we can all get infused together. Yeah, it's amazing. Now, I will tell you, the one caveat of that is NAD, during your infusion, if you don't have somebody who knows what they're doing, it can make you feel horribly ill. Not like
It has to go in slow.
it has to go very slow. So if you're going to do, let's say, an infusion of 500 milligrams, I think that's how they measure it.
It can take 2 hours.
It could take 2.5 hours, because if you start getting too much at a time, you just all of a sudden have this wave of nausea, and it hits you out of the blue. But it helps if you're somebody who's a snacker, or like it actually helps with addictive personality things. So if you're an addictive snacker, or if you're an addictive like all the things about us that basically are biochemistry, things that can make you do things. Like I'm a huge coffee fanatic, huge. Yeah, I don't know if I could have the one-on addiction. But after my very first NAD infusion, I did not drink coffee for 2 weeks. I didn't have headaches. I didn't feel lethargic. I had more energy than I had ever had. And it's wild. So I will tell you, if you're okay with needles, there are companies online that offer NAD injectables that get delivered to your home where you can do it yourself. You're not going to be able to get
But it's
that.
subcutaneous. It's just.
You're not going to get that mega dose like you're going to get in an IV. Like you can only probably do 50 milligrams at a time. So that like that I'm on top of the world feeling, you're probably not going to get there just giving it to yourself. But if you do it the IV way, absolutely, it's a game changer. So all the celebrities like J-Lo, every celebrity, you're like, wow, are they drinking the plasma of small children because they look so amazing? They're all getting NAD infusions, I promise you that. So that's one supplement. And then also the glutathione thing that I talked about. Glutathione is really great for detoxing your body, especially like your liver. And there are glutathione patches that you can get where you put it directly on like kind of this area, the back of your knee, and that glutathione will go in and help detoxify your body, pull out free radicals, and just give you that overall feeling of wellness. But those are two of my top probably supplements that I'm the biggest fan of as far as giving you that jump start to feeling good. But we'll go into the rest of the supplements on another private show, okay? So let's talk about primer. Does everybody use makeup primer? And this might just be a Texas thing, because if you don't use primer in Texas, your makeup's only gonna last about 2 hours. Luba, what am I gonna do with you? Okay. I have two favorites, okay? And for two different reasons. So if you have larger pores and you're somebody that wants to just give yourself that like glazed over finish and you need to kind of fill those pores, the ZO sunscreen and primer in one is amazing. Just absolutely amazing. And the texture of this, you can almost get away, like if you don't want to wear foundation, you can almost get away, honestly, with just this and then this Dr. Jart. It's going to give you that really soft kind of airbrush glow finish without looking like you have hardly any makeup on at all. So I'm just going to show you all, like if I could recommend, honestly, 2 products to you from ZO, one is going to be the exfoliating crystals and the other is going to be this. Okay? It's just, please avoid all the, look past the hair on my hand, but it's just really beautiful. So then, again, if you wanted, it is amazing. And then I'm just going to show you that Dr. Jart cream over top, how pretty it lays. It's just going to give you that really nice diffused
glazed
glow.
donut. I loved it. Now I want a glazed donut.
And you're going to look like you have that buttery, baby soft skin with just 2 products. It's really, really beautiful. But if you need a little bit more, and I'm one of those people that I feel like I need a little bit more, the other primer that I recommend is that drop I put over that was the Tiger Grass drops.
What is that noise?
There is, send me a message, because I think it's Ageless RX, I believe, is at least where I've found those. Check that out. But as far as the other primer that I love, especially if you're in Texas, if you're in humid areas, if you feel like you constantly, if you're a little bit more of an oily skin, you're gonna need a primer that has more grip, okay? And that means you don't want to feel like your makeup is falling off at noon. And for that, I highly, highly, highly recommend the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Now this is nice. It comes in 2 variations. It comes in this, just the clear variation, or it comes in a glow. So if you like that glowy, dewy sheen, actually, I'm gonna go grab it really fast because I want to show it to you.
With the milk?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to? It's right here.
No, I have the other one that glows.
Oh. So I have to tell you that I thought, well, my skin's pretty good. I don't really have any wrinkles. So I called this, I don't know what kind of doctor he is, I guess dermatologist, but he has lasers in Houston. And so they were like, before we'll set you an appointment, you have to take pictures of your face and send it in. So they were like, where did you get all those white dots? And I'm like, white dots? So now I've been obsessed. And I go, maybe it's just the way I shot it in the light. I don't really have any white dots. And anyway, so I've been over here fretting over.
Fretting over her perfect skin. Yeah, exactly. I don't see any either. Okay, I want to show this to you because I just want you to see how really beautiful it is. This is the Milk. This is also their primer, but this is the one that has the shimmer to it. If you like that glow, I love glowy, dewy skin, but so that can be also a really nice base layer to put a foundation on top of. It's not, I don't like glitter shimmer, I like glow, and I feel like this is a really great product to give you that glow without it being like too much, you know, like 14 going to prom too much, you know what I mean? And just before we go into makeup, here's one more product that I'm going to show you. It's called Yonner Ferment Ampule Cream. You're going to have to Google image search it to see where to purchase because it's a Korean, and if any of y'all know about Korean skincare, like look at them. They have some of the most, but this is a fermented moisturizer that I slathered this whole area with it at night. But watch. See this? I don't know if that's the fermentate. I don't know what's in it because it's all in Chinese, but you know what? I don't care because the way it makes your skin feel is amazing. And the lightest layer, and it will make you feel like you're hydrated for at least 24 hours. And as far as body, if anybody wants curious about body moisturizer or body lotion, almond oil all day, every day. Fresh out of the shower, after shaving, almond oil, just natural almond oil everywhere. But other than that, I don't really use any lotion. I use that, almond oil, and I use this. So I'll let you all take a picture of that so that you can look it up because I don't know how else to tell you. I watched some short somewhere and they said it's made in Korea, it's amazing, and I've been using it ever since. Okay. Okay, are we ready for makeup? I'm going to use, so I have two favorites. One is the one you all saw the other night, is the Tom Ford, but I don't want to use that one for this because they don't make it anymore. And if you can't get it, then it's pointless for me to share that with you because I want you to be able to get access to all the things that I'm showing you. So my favorite foundation for every day, this is a lot of times what I'll wear when we're doing the show, is the Dr. Jart Beauty Balm. And it does have an SPF of 40 in it, also hydrates, conceals, and protects. And for me, it comes in 4 shades. It comes in Fair Light, which is my main shade. This is what it looks like. I want to say it's somewhere in the mid-40s as far as a price point, and then that's the color, it's Fair to Light. And then I also have the Light to Medium, and the Dr. Jart, okay? So my favorite recommendation as far as doing makeup, Sephora, I believe, that's where I got it, is get yourself something that you can do your makeup on that you can also sanitize. So I have a glass plate, this glass tray situation, and I use this every day to do my makeup. So for me, I'll take 2 squirts of this Dr. Jart.
Coley's watching us.
Hi, Coley. And then I'll take, so just right there on the tray, and then I'll take 1 of this next shade up, and that's kind of what I was talking about the other day, where you can custom mix. So I'll mix that together, and then I'll just take the end of a makeup brush, like this part, and I'll swirl that together until I get my shade perfect. Okay, and then I'll just dabble all that, but I'm only gonna put that on one side. And then, Kristi, what's the name of these sponges?
Let me guess.
I don't know. I don't think we have a box. Okay. Again, if I had to give you like 5 top products. This is going to be a top product that I recommend. Yes, it is have product on it, but it's only been used on my face, and I think I've only used it once. I don't use beauty blenders. Welcome. Coley is Kristi's cousin.
Raised as my brother.
Yeah, brother as from another mother.
Yes, but our mothers are sisters.
Yes, their mothers are sisters. So he's one of the only boys we'll allow in the show. So these makeup sponges are amazing. Kristi's pulling up the name of them. Basically, you get them wet once, and then you never have to get them wet again. So it has a lot of, almost has like a styrofoam feel to it. You can cut them into different shapes if you need to be able to get up close. I do almost my entire face with this product, okay? So I keep a foundation, bronzer side, and then a blush side. And it's kind of like makeup artistry. You can't, or like regular artistry, you can't get too messy. So I just bounce that. Now remember, this is just a BB cream, but it does have really pretty, fantastic coverage. And if you've already done your base layers of kind of helping out your pores with a great toner, and I didn't talk about toner, but I should have. I'm toner unhappy at the moment personally because my favorite one was discontinued, and I hate it when that happens. So the one I'm using, I can't recommend because you all can't buy it.
Stands out. STANS.
Okay, so this product, this sponge, is called Stands Out, and it comes in a box. This is what it looks like. And I think they're about $21 a piece. But you can clean them about 3 times. I probably get about 2 months use out of one sponge. So again,
And I think it's like $20 or.
I'm trying to just do this side of my face so you all can see the coverage that I'm getting from just, honestly, a little bit of this Dr. Jart cream. So, and you can see that's about how much I used on that side of my face. I'd use 3 pumps of makeup, and I usually end up using only about maybe 70%. But I was feeding them in my life. Oh, you're fine, honey. This is Dr. Jart, the Beauty Balm Cream. I take 2, personally for me, I'm 2 pumps of Fair Light and 1 pump of Light Medium. And I pump them onto my tray like this, and then I just mix them together with the end of a makeup brush. And then this here is my lifesaver product. It's called Stands Out Blender. Yeah. She's amazing. And again, if you all find Kristi on the app, I know everybody's going to be looking for these things for. I think the link for that is on her Instagram page.
Yeah.
So if you go to
Amazon store.
Insta, I don't think you can say that.
Oh, okay. We'll
But
put that in.
But there's you don't have to search for this stuff if you can go look, but if you know what I'm saying. So I just bounce this Beauty Balm cream all over the face. And like if I'm not, honestly, I used to be the kind of person I had to have makeup on everywhere I went, no matter what. Yeah, yes, if you go check out KK Schiller, and you can figure out how to get to the bookstore from there. Okay? So that's just that Dr. Jart Beauty Balm Cream, okay? Next, my favorite product for under eye is the Natasha Denona Concealer. And for me, my favorite color, and this is gonna vary obviously, my favorite color is either R2 or RN3. Now, I think a lot of times people can make the mistake of going too light under the eye, and that not only it makes your face smaller, but it doesn't do you any favors. So the RN3 has, for me, just enough rosy in it that it's going to help cancel out any sort of dark circles. So I just go right under the eye, down the bridge of my nose, and up between the brows. And the thing about it is, I feel like the bouncing effect that you do with this sponge does such a nice job of giving you that airbrush finish. And the reason I prefer this to brushes is it's very difficult. I don't care what kind of brush you use. It's very difficult to get a finish that doesn't look streaky with brushes. So then I just sort of fan out. And as far as the face goes, you just want to think about giving yourself a little brightness in all the areas that are going to project. It is called Stands Out.
STANS.
And it looks like this in the box, and then the box is pink and white stripe. Okay, so that's after you apply concealer. Oh, here's another thing that is probably a lot of you know about this, but the Lumify eye brightening drops, if you don't know about these, they're amazing. You know when you all first started playing with no face products in the eyelids? No, I don't use any of my foundation on my eyelids. Great question, Carrie Ann. This is, you know when makeup filters came out and then all of a sudden you found out you could whiten the whites of your eyes in these makeup filters? All of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh. Remember like filters, apps came out and you could brighten the whites of your eyes? You don't have to now because Lumify will do that for you. One drop in each eye and it lasts you all day. Okay. So now I like to take one shade lighter of concealer. This is the R2. And I like to go down along the jawline and on the chin. Because this is also going to help, because my foundation, I like that glowy look, but I also have to realize that what I just put on my face is a little bit darker than my neck. So if I put this right here on the jawline, it's going to help marry my neck to my chin.
My girl, Chris Seward is on here watching.
Hello, Chris. And then I go up into, I can, yes, of course. So again, for the under eye, they're both Natasha Denona. And the thing I like about this is it's a hydrating concealer. It's highly pigmented, and it just does an amazing job. A lot of times concealers, because they're so pigmented, will actually dry out your skin. And for me, I use the R2 down here and then the RN3 under the eye. But concealers for me, like, it's just, I've used probably 50, and that is by far my favorite. I actually drove 70 miles once just to get it because I ran out and I didn't have any. Okay, so far we've just done that base layer of the BB cream all over the face, the R2 or RN3 under the eye and up here, and then the R2 right here, okay? Am I going too fast, or is everybody ready for contour? Okay, so this is a new love affair of mine, Patrick Ta, and let me wipe this off because my fingerprints are all over it. And Patrick Ta has literally changed the game for me as far as makeup products for color, and I love the packaging. It's pretty. It's not like NARS. I love their products, but I hate the packaging because it always looks just gross and it gets sticky. It's so strange to me how such a great skincare product and makeup brand has funky packaging. And I just got an itch there, but rather than scratch, I'm just gonna tap. So Patrick Ta, the thing that's amazing about this is in each product, you get 2 products. And what I mean by that is this particular one is called She's Sculpted. This is the contour cream and powder. And this is very important for somebody like me because I'm a big proponent of layering products. This is exactly like Scott Barnes teaches, is you want to layer all of your products from cream to dry. So notice everything we've put on the face so far is strictly cream products. So the way I use this is now that I have my foundation on, now I take my sponge and I just do swipe, swipe, swipe in that contour cream, okay? And for me, again, you have to consider the shape of your face when you're doing this. For me, I just go in and I want to shadow the corners of my forehead because it's a little bit larger, okay? So I want to decrease the size of that or make it appear smaller. So I'm only going to do one side so you all can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I go there with it, and then I go right down here, kind of in the hollow of the cheek. And that's for the cream, okay? So just in looking straight on, you can kind of see that it gives a little bit more of a sculpted look on this side. And then one of the other areas you can do that is just come, even though you just did that light here and you want to marry your face to your neck, as I like to take that same bronzing powder and just put, or the cream, and put it on the neck. And in doing that, the light that you just put down here is going to help snatch your jawline to make it look more pronounced against the shadow that you put on your neck. Copy? Okay. Contour and powder duo. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and finish out my other side. Okay, again, we still haven't put any products on the eyes. I'll see if I can find it for you. And if you have that issue, I'll see if I can find it for you all locally.
What?
And then if there's, she said it's sold out, I can go and check, and then I can just put it right up here in the store and you can get it through Whatnot. So it's the same color. I'm using the cream at the moment just to go in and contour my shadow. I don't think you can do that. I think you post that.
Why not?
Because you can't just, I mean, it's there, but don't do it.
What's a private?
I know, but it's still, they watch all of this. I just don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so the blush situation now, after we just did, I gotta find the other one. So the blush situation in the Patrick Ta is the same thing. They're going to give you a cream and a powder, okay? You can obviously see that I like the cream situation. So this is called She's So LA. And this is a really pretty kind of dusty mauve. It's a little bit dark. It's probably more of a winter shade. She's So LA. So then I've been using this side of my puff, and I'm just switching over and I'm using that blush side. And I'm gonna go in and pick up some of that cream. And I'm not going on the apple of my cheek with this color. They don't let you have any fun there. And so with this, I'm just kind of coming into that outside edge up here. And I'm like a lot of people think, oh, this is the cheek. Well, your face, think about when your face flushes in other places aside from your cheeks. So you just want to make sure to draw attention to all the places that, you know, you would get color, okay? So again, I didn't go to the apples because we're going to do something different there with blush at the apples, but still so far, the only thing we've done, and I just do a couple little dots once my sponge is almost empty, on the forehead, okay? So far, all of this has still just been cream. What do you think? And I own every color in the Patrick Ta. These are just my favorite, like this is my every single day staple makeup application. So the next color that I love is called She's That Girl. And it looks like this. And we're gonna take more of that cream and we're just gonna pop her right in the apples. And that's gonna give you that really beautiful, like youthful lemonade pink glow. Okay. And quite honestly, if I had to, I could probably even do my eyeshadow with this sponge. All right, Kristi?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just gonna sit down for a second.
Okay. So again, that was She's That Girl. Okay, now, where are my little lip girls that are like, I have little lips? I didn't get the right makeup brush I needed. Okay, hold on, give me 2 seconds. I gotta go get a different brush. I forgot the right one. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. Okay, so here's the next trick, and this is a super fun one. This is the Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever is a great brand. Makeup Forever, I highly, highly, highly recommend their lip pencils because they don't dry out and they're a pencil, so you can sharpen them forever. I feel like a lot of brands started coming out with pencils that were like plastic that you could still sharpen, but they aren't wood pencils. And the product inside dries out before you have the chance to use it. Makeup Forever doesn't do that. Makeup Forever, amazing, amazing lip pencil. The other product by Makeup Forever that I recommend is this. It is called Artist Sculpt, and this is color S410 Thrilled Chestnut. And I'm not sure how many colors this product comes in, but I use a brush like this. It's kind of a, this one's dirty because I use it every single day. It's a fluffy, it's stiff, it doesn't have a lot of movement to it, but it's one of those puffy angled brushes. So I just dab, 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 and if you want to make your lips look pouty, you're going to do this. And then go in on the top. And just give yourself a nice little shadow. And maybe it looks dark now, but once you finally powder your face, that'll all blend out. So then, take, you know, I've got makeup now on my lips from when I put my foundation on, but if you just go and wipe just the makeup off your lips, you keep that shadowed line on the outside edge of your lip line. Okay, so now I've got that full sort of shadowed pout around the outside corner of the lips. The other place that we're going to use this before you put it away is the nose. Now, not everybody, because obviously I don't know what y'all's noses look like, but for me, if you want to shorten your nose, just do a little. This is S410 in Thrilled Chestnut. Okay, just do a little like this. And again, it looks dark right now because I haven't powdered, but just give her a minute, okay? So just like that. And then you don't want to do the full length because you're kind of going to elongate it. But if you want to give yourself a snatch nose, just right there. And just right there. Okay, now that'll all get blended out in just a second. Okay, now this is just my step-by-step process. However y'all do yourself, like a lot of people like to do their eyes before they ever touch their face. I actually do my eyes last. The product I'm using now is the Milk Eyelid Primer. And this is why I don't put my face makeup on my eyelids, because I use a separate primer for my eyeshadow. Okay. So I like to put that on with the brush and then just melt it on with the fingertip all over the lid. Okay. Now, before I go to do eyeshadow, I like to contour my brows. So if you don't know about the rules, yes, I did use a face primer. So my three face primer recommendations are the Zeo Skin Health Sunscreen Plus Primer. Now this is a really great one if you feel like you have pores that you need to fill, or you want to create kind of like that almost that silicone layer of skin underneath your makeup. This is great. If you feel like your makeup always slides off your face, the Milk Hydro Grip Primer is wonderful, and this comes in this version, which is the clear, or also comes in a glow version if you like kind of that glowy skin. This is the one I use today. So the lid primer is the same brand. So you are welcome. So as far as brows, so your eyebrow, should come, so you measure the outside corner of your nose, so that's how far the inside corner of my eyebrow should come. So you see it's a little short. And then here to there, that's where the tail of my eyebrow should go, from the corner of my nose to the outside tail. And then your arch, my arch is a little off, but your arch should theoretically kind of measure up with your iris, okay? So, Benefit does a great brow pomade. Benefit has some of the best eyebrow products I personally like. It's in a pot. Now I like to have a lot of control with my eyebrow product, and this is in shade 2, which is Warm Golden Blonde. And it's nice because it has like this lip inside where you can drag off excess product if you get too much. So I like to load up my brush, and then versus starting here, because you don't want too much in the corner, I start here. Okay, let's see. And I'm gonna get, because I can't see that well up there, I'm just gonna come down here. Now this is a gel, so again, kind of like layering the face, I'm gonna use this product first, and then I'm gonna go over top afterwards with like a pencil. And then once that brush is sort of empty, I like to come in right here and just sort of flick up. And just sort of give a shadow of an extended brow, because you don't want it to look too harsh on that inside corner. Does that make sense? So finished brow, not so finished brow. And I have a hellacious, what did I do, Mom? Fall into a coffee table on that side? I've got a scar in that eyebrow. I don't know why you can't talk. I can't talk when I do my eyebrows, but it's a thing, right? You have to concentrate. The eyebrows are tricky. Somebody was like, my eyebrows don't match. And then somebody else was like, well, they're sisters, not twins. But, you know, I try really hard to get mine to match. That's my mom, Tanya Cal 4444. Go follow her. I'm trying really hard to get her to be a whatnotter. Okay. So there's the eyebrow situation with the Benefit Brow Pomade. Now there's lots of different brow products out there that I can give recommendations on. That just tends to be my favorite because I feel like it helps have your eyebrows lay down, hold tight, and it's also a really great color that doesn't come off as too red or too taupe or anything like that. So love that one. All right, now I'm gonna do a little eyeshadow for you all. Somebody asked the other day what eyeshadow I was wearing, and this is my go-to palette. It's also Natasha Denona, which is the same as the concealer we used. And I apologize if anything I'm recommending to you, they don't carry anymore. I think she still makes this one. It's the Glam Face palette in light. Oh, y'all are sweet. Thank you. Okay, so this is just basic. There's 5 shades. There's a blush and a highlighter. Honestly, I don't even use those 2. I just use those 5 colors. Those are my standard, pretty everyday use colors. So the one I like the best is this one, and it's called Transition. And I think in smoky eye dialogue, there is too much emphasis on going dark. And in order to get a really great smoky eye, you want to actually start with a fairly light color. So I'm just getting that transition shade there, loaded up on the brush. And I'm just coming kind of out like this in that outside corner where that crease is, and kind of pushing up and swirling in small circles. Okay, and then also going out here. So you just blend, 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 blend. And if you start light, you're not gonna look like overly smoky, but you're just gonna help pull out that shape of your whole eye. And you can do that a couple times until you get it as dark as you want. But again, this is just kind of my go-to everyday color. Okay, so you can see where the white is here versus where the dark, it just kind of opened up that whole eye shape. I love pinks and I love tans and nudes on an eye. I probably in my entire life have only worn black on my eye maybe 3 times. Okay, the face is back. Ready to pick up some makeup? Okay, next, after I do that pink shade, I like to go in with a kind of like an eyebrow brush. But we love y'all. Like we talk about whatnot now.
We
like
ain't got no secrets.
Like it's Sinclair. Like, you know, what's everybody doing? Okay, so this is a little bit of a firmer kind of eyebrow brush, and it's a little bit thicker. So I like to take this darker shade. It's called Smoke. So on me, and I'm not going to be able to do it in this mirror very well, I just like to give a little bit of a tiny cat eye on that outside corner to extend up the shape of my eye. Okay, just like that. But I don't like to go all the way over because the space on my eyelid from here to here is not very big. So if I take that dark line all the way to the inside corner, I'm going to cut off the shape of my eye. Okay, and then I'll just do the same thing on this side. See? Now, I'm also not a very big proponent of under eye because I feel like for me personally, it cuts off the shape of my eye. If I was going to do something under the eye, I would go and do this middle shade, crease, and come down here and just do a little bit of a smoke. But for me personally, I feel like this looks a little bit more youthful and fresh, whereas this just not, I used to wear dark, crazy heavy makeup, and I just don't do that anymore. Well, I say that, this is quite a bit. Yes, honestly, my favorite is, Kristi, what's your favorite recommendation for waterline? You like Urban Decay, right?
Yeah, it's called actually Waterline.
Yeah, she likes Urban Decay.
But I only do the upper
Yeah, she only does the upper.
underline.
And I only do the upper also. I do that waterline with dark brown, but I don't use Urban Decay, I use the Lancome. So I just smoke that out, even though that's not usually my go-to, just to show you all the difference. Okay, now I'm going to go in and do a little bit more punch with that middle brown color, that crease. Here I'm just tap, just tap, 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 and then you can just do this. And then if you want to intensify that crease, again, just go small little swirls in that corner, but do it and push up. I feel like a lot of people go down, and that's when you end up cutting off the sides of your eye. You want to use kind of that underside part of your brow bone. And then as far as the eyelids go, one of my also favorite things to do after you kind of get that shadow like you want. Now some people, and this is, yes, of course, it's this one, and it's called Glam Face Palette. This is the light Glam Face Palette. And then, if you're a shimmer girl, I take this outer corner color, Shimmer, and my ring finger, just the ball of my ring finger, just get like that. And then just put the tiniest little bit on that inside corner. Natasha does a really great shimmer. I've tried so many times. Who's the other one that's got a lot of, Pat McGrath? I can't get on board with Pat McGrath, y'all. I've tried, but it's just not, the lipsticks dry out, the shadow pigment doesn't last like I want it to. So I've got Patrick Ta, Natasha Denona, and Dr. Jart are some of my top 3, and then Makeup Forever are really like my go-to brands when it comes to makeup. Okay, what's next? I'm trying to think about my process. Okay, setting powder. So if you have your tray, your little glass tray, I actually thought about inventing, or not inventing, but you know, if you all know Jonathan Adler Designs, he does a lot of like we have a cookie jar that's striped and it says Quaaludes on it. But I wanted to do basically like a plate design, because I took a picture once of my makeup powder on a plate and it looked like a substance that we take off the streets, and I wanted to do basically like a powder plate that you could use for your makeup, but you know, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, okay, my favorite under eye powder is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for under eye. It's just a really pretty finely milled white powder. So I take a little bit of that, and then right now I'll tell you honestly, I'm not 100% happy with a full face setting powder at the moment, because I think the one I loved they stopped making. So right now I'm using Mario. I'll give you a full report on that, but for now it's working okay. I'm using the Mario powder in, I think, Neutral Light, shade 2, and it just looks like that Makeup by Mario. So then, I really killed it with not bringing all the right makeup brushes out here. We'll use this one. So this is not the one I normally use, but just take a really like big poofy sort of fine brush like this, and I just dust it under the eye, and that's that white powder by Laura Mercier. Okay, and that's going to go in, it's going to help set your Aquaphor that you have under the eye to the concealer so that it stays, it doesn't move, it doesn't transfer, and it doesn't crease. And then you can take, after that, you can kind of take, I don't use any Charlotte Tilbury products. I've tried to get on brand. Something about it, I don't know. Oh, hold on. Now, I say that, I did use what is it, that Glow Wand? I don't hate that Glow Wand, it was pretty good. The like blushy highlighter situation. So that's just to help set that under eye product. And then I don't have a whole lot left of that white powder, but I'll mix the two with the end of my brush and just kind of lighten up that Mario powder. And then take a puff. The Mario powder this one is the 2 Neutral Light. And I think this comes in maybe 4 or 5 shades. I don't like the Laura Mercier All Over powder. I don't like the Makeup Forever powder. There's a couple that I've tried to use in the last few months that I just feel like as soon as you put them on, they go really orange. And you know, all those big makeup brands had to kind of figure some stuff out. Yeah, they oxidize really bad, and a lot came out, you know, because talc is so bad for you. Talc is cancer causing, so, you know, give me my talc back. I'm teasing, I don't want cancer, but so now I just come in with this Makeup by Mario powder on my puff, like so. And the first place I'm gonna set is that jawline, and I'm gonna bake a little. So baking is where you kind of have an excess of powder, and all of that oil from your skin, from your products, is just going to grab that powder and help your makeup set in place. So from there, I'll go up here where you see that shine. And this is where we're going to help take care of that nose contour that was a little outlandish. And then you can kind of do around your mouth and go up like so. Okay, and the next shiny place you want to hit is that forehead. And just kind of dance all over the face with that powder. And the last place is your cheeks, because you don't really want a lot on your cheeks, because your cheeks actually get a lot of movement. Really? That stinks. I do have a Rare Beauty product out here that I'm going to show you, because I do have one Rare Beauty product that I use and love. Another brand that I actually really love is called Merit. I brought it out here to show you. If you like simple makeup, and I say that, but it's like clean, simple makeup, instead of the Patrick Ta, this is also like a really great bronzing stick. This is in the color Leo. And again, the way that I use this, I don't swipe it on my face. I just take that bronzing side of my poof, and I just swipe, 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 and sometimes I'll use that to contour instead of the Patrick Ta, but I can't say as I like one more than the other. This has a little bit more of a sheen to it if you're afraid of color. this might be something that you prefer because it is a more sheer application. But they have really great brushes. Merit, I feel like, is kind of a sleeper brand. And Westman Atelier.
I love them.
Yes, Leo by Merit. You are welcome. So now that you've been baked, right, I like to take just a tiny little bit more powder on a big full fluffy brush like this and just sort of wax on, wax off the whole face, okay? Make sure that you get that light, nice dusting all over. And then if you feel like that bronzer on the nose is still a little heavy, do one of those, okay? Now, what do I do next? Now is bronzing powder. So we're gonna go back to that Patrick Ta compact. This is only if you feel like you need it. So if you're gonna be on film, TV, photographs, if you need extra contour, this is when you can go in with that contour powder and just punch up the depth of your contour. Okay, now I'm giving you like the full on like wedding day makeup situation. And just follow the lines in all the places that you would put that contour cream. There, and then down here on the neck. Okay, then go back in with your makeup, your blush brush, and this is where I like to get that peach. This is the She's That Girl by Patrick Ta. Just a couple, and just dance right there on that inside apple of the cheek. And then Rare Beauty. Let's see, there you go, Rare Beauty. This is in color Happy. She looks like that. If you want a little bit of shimmer to give you that glow, she goes right there. Just kind of on the tops of those cheekbones. And then one of the last things before I do like mascara is sometimes I'll go back in with this color from Patrick Ta and put a little bit of her just on my eyelid. Because again, that blush pink shouldn't just, I don't think, be on your cheeks. You know, it's just fun. And if you get intimidated by it, sit in your bathrobe in front of your mirror and just play and play and play and practice. All right, before we do mascara, I'm gonna give you the lips. Okay, so my favorite lip liner is Makeup Forever in color 606. I think that says Wherever Walnut. And again, Makeup Forever, fantastic, amazing lip liners. Now, I do have a favorite color by Gucci if you like a red lip. And for this, I just slightly line the outside of the lip. And I kind of like my lip to match my cheek. So whatever my cheek's gonna do for the day, I kind of make my lip match. So that was that dark walnut color, and it kind of marries that contour of the outside of the lip to your lip liner. And I have two, I don't even know who this is by. I shouldn't do this one. Let me go, I have this is a This is a matte product, but I don't know who this is by, so I can't tell you to do this. I have one by House Labs. I'm gonna go grab it. Hold on. So I found the Gucci one too. So House Labs is the Lady Gaga makeup brand, if you don't know. I haven't used a lot of her products. I have used a few of her blushes, which are nice. I love her lip crowns. What?
Love her foundation.
You love her foundation? Oh yeah, Kristi uses her foundation all the time. She does love that. This is a lip crown in light peony? How do you say that? The flower?
Peony.
Peony matte. The thing I like about her lip crowns is they have really great staying power, but they're creamy enough that they don't feel like they dry your lip out. So even though we use that dark walnut, I'm going to use this light pink. And this color combo is like my favorite nude relationship. It's got just enough pigment, not too much. And then over top of that, this is Giovanna? How do you say that? This is by Stila. Okay, that's this one. And this is this is my favorite. The crayon is a light peony matte. I don't know if you can see that. Is it on there? Sorry, it's so hard to see. And now look, if this ends up sold out all over the internet, I'm gonna know it's because of you ladies. This is a clicker, so when you get it, you have to click, 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 click before it goes up. So just kind of do it a little slowly so you don't have all that explode. But this is a really pretty sort of iridescent mauve. This is pretty on just a plain lip. This is probably like my most dedicated mission when I worked at Nordstrom in cosmetics was how to find that perfect nude, juicy lip color, and this hits in all the spots. And it has a tiny, 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 not a bad one, tingle factor to it. And now what? Lashes. So Kristi curls her lashes. I don't curl mine. I don't remember who told me this, but they said if you curl your lashes, it will break them. And so
They lied.
Ever since then. Oh, on the Stila it's Giovanna, Giovanna. It doesn't. You are welcome. Okay, so I like to use a primer on my lashes. This is Voluminous by Lash Paradise. This is the only drugstore thing I use. I've watched all the things. It says it's the same. I don't know. Here I am still thinking I have to buy, but I do use drugstore lash primer. So I do one eye at a time. And then honestly, I have to tell you, I just found this product and I'm really digging it. If I can find it in my mess over here. No, where'd it go? Oh, here. It's called Tightline by IT Cosmetics. Now, I love IT Cosmetics. I like their Beauty Balm. I love their Superhero Mascara. But one of the things I've noticed about their Superhero Mascara is that it can tend to transfer onto my lid. The thing I like about this is the tiniest, tiniest brush you've ever seen. And you can get really close up to that lash line and you get so much more extension on your lashes. And it almost gives a double effect with making it look like you've put liner on your waterline. And the thing too is because the bristles are so small, you're not going to get clumps. me just check in the mirror where I can see. Okay. It's great. I honestly don't know that I'll ever use anything else. I love it. All right. Any questions? How about wraps her up? I don't know where I'm going to go now, but Chanel mascara, girl. What kind of Chanel? Like, do they have different ones or they just have one? I will post, you know what, I will just make a list and I will message it to each of you individually of all the products I used. Does that work? I'll have to give it a try. I'm really funny about smells, and doesn't somebody have a mascara that's really intense in the rose smell? I can't remember. Maybe it's Lancome. I can't remember. Now, as far as like finishing everything off, there's a couple other things. Oh, this is, I was going to tell you all too, this is my favorite. If I can read that, dear Lord. I don't know if I can read that. 331. This is my favorite Gucci red lip. I think it's 331. Thank you. I think you all are amazing too. This is fun. The last thing I want to tell you all is if you want a little bit more pop of shimmer, I should have looked this up before I tell you this. This is Becca Own Your Light. This is my favorite. It's not even gonna show up. Shimmer for the cheeks, because it's not too much, but it gives like a little bit of a rose gold. If you just want a little bit more. Right? Go into the bathroom to use my Elemis cleansing balm. Unless y'all want to go shop, I can go set up in the garage and we can do a show. I'm teasing. We don't need to do a show. Did I miss anything? Oh, the setting spray. My favorite setting spray is the Veil Hourglass Soft Focus Setting Spray. I like the Urban Decay, but this one has more of a micronized mist. It's very fine. And it's just going to help set all that and then take your face back to skin. You know, a little punch of that. And then if I had it out here, I would do it, but just a tiny little flick on the tail there with an eyebrow pencil just to make those lines. You should see what I pulled out for the next one. Amazing. So there you have it. I hope you liked the makeup tutorial. I hope y'all learned something. If you have questions, just ask. Again, this is like my on-camera face, so I get if some of you are like, that's a little bit too much or too heavy for me. Modify it to fit whatever you need, but you are very welcome. Happy to do it. You are welcome. Honestly, it probably takes me about maybe 13 minutes at max to do this. Maybe a little less. I've gotten pretty good at it. Actually, the makeup application I did in Houston the other day for a job, I did 6. Sorry, Luba. I did 6, and at the last minute I found out instead of having 6 hours, I had 4 hours, and I was able to get 6 done in 4 hours, which when you're doing it on somebody else can be a lot because, you know, you're trying to learn somebody else's, what they want for their makeup. Thanks, Mom. Love you too. Thank you all so much. Oh, God's gal, where you been, baby? You are welcome. We will do this again anytime. We can talk hair products. Okay, you tell me later. I'll fill you in on everything you missed. Don't worry, this was not the only show like this. Again, for all of you who are here, this is not a gatekeeping thing. I just thought it would be easier to start something that we didn't have a bunch of people coming in through the middle and feeling like they were asking questions. So we can do this as early as next week, and I can show you other tricks or tips, or we can do different looks. or I can do Kristi's makeup, whatever you guys want. So just send me a message and let me know and we'll make it work. So other than that, I think we're scheduled for our next show on Friday. And like I said, I pulled tons of new pieces. They need to see the makeup room, right? Oh gosh, the makeup room. If only we used all the products in the makeup room. But I would love to do, I could talk hair all day long. So, all right, I won't keep you. I'll let you all shop. But this was fun. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you. And we'll see you all on Friday. Yes, next is going to Houston, and we're going to have everybody come hang out at the ranch, and we'll do a women's retreat, right? A mental health retreat. Figure out what that looks like. Okay. Good night, everybody.